Season 3.
It's crazy.
Episode 1. We'll call it the video season because we're now on video, as we can see right there, right?
Waving at the camera.
So a new addition, in part, a lot of thanks goes to one of the people that we have here today. So I'm Mr. Franz, if you don't know, and this is my third year of doing the PodCATS podcast. Mr. Burgess, you want to...
Yep, Mr. Burgess, this is also my third year doing this. We came up with this at the end of 4 years ago as an idea to, try to get people to understand more what's going on at West and get to know people that are here at West a little bit more. And I think up to this point, it's been a success. This room looks a little bit different than it did 2 years ago.
I really wish that we could have had, more pictures out there of what it looked like before.
Yeah, which we might have a few out there we can maybe somehow add to the video.
Yes,
so
that'd be good.
See
Yep.
Yeah. What it looks like now. But yeah, it's been a blast, and hopefully it just keeps getting better.
Absolutely.
My name is Evan. This is my second year helping with the podcast, and I basically just mess with all the audio, make sure it sounds as good as possible, and trying to transition to video now. So pretty excited.
My name's Cooper. I'm a sophomore. This is my second year. Last year I did a little bit of audio editing. Might have spoken in one or two of the podcasts.
Yep, because you were on the soundboard, so every once in a while we'd ask your opinion.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And so we had these two on so they can kind of see the people that are behind the scenes for every episode. Again, you may hear from them a time or two, but for the most part,
well, and Cooper is a co-host, so it'll be a while, but he'll be on one of the episodes. And then Evan is also kind of in charge of some of our social media as well, and so he's going to be around the podcast a lot.
But basically, they're the ones doing the dirty work. You and I come in.
We just sit here and look pretty.
Yep. And they make us look especially pretty and sound better than we actually do.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so this episode, we're not going to do, too much. I mean, it's not really a big deal. Our guest tomorrow coming in, it's not a big deal. I mean, no one will even know who it is. But today, we're going to talk about what we're looking forward to this semester. So we're going to start with Cooper. Cooper's the young person. He's a sophomore here at West. So what are 3 of the things that you're looking forward to this semester?
All 3? Bam, bam, bam?
Yes.
We'll go around.
Bam, bam, bam.
All right.
I don't care. What do you want to do?
No, we can just knock
Let's
them
do
out.
it one each. Let's just do it one each. It's that way you don't get tired. I don't want your voice to get tired.
All right.
You can have a sip of water. Oh, it's already out.
Big drinker.
Okay.
Already got to start editing.
Wow. Okay. Go ahead. Just do one.
All right. Let's gotta pick one of my 3. What's the best one? I'm gonna say this upcoming weekend. Probably when you hear this in the past, but Normal West at Normal Community football game.
It's a good one.
Very excited. West might only win it 1 out of every 5 years, but we always hope that is the year.
Oh, well, history.
Historically,
Not wrong.
Historically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe
if we're
one
gonna
every
break it down.
4 years.
But if you're looking at the past 4-year trend, every
every
time we
other.
go there, we win. And every
Yeah.
time they come to the last 2, that's what's happened. So hoping that trend continues this year.
Yep, and as I understand it, it's white out. So if you're somehow able to get a hold of this podcast before it actually comes out, make sure to wear white. So that's a good start, Cooper.
I'm also super excited for that game, but other things I'm excited about is obviously I'm repping the Hawks, the Iowa Hawkeyes, so I'm really excited for college football to start. I know Iowa, they started out number 25 on the poll. I don't know how long that's going to last. I mean, I know we beat Illinois State pretty good, but
And scored about as many points as I think you did in like 4 or 5 games
that was
last
the exciting
year.
thing.
So
Yeah, that was a good thing to see because last year it was a tough watch, to be honest. I was cheering for the punter more than anything. So
well, now he's a Bear.
yeah.
So
Yep.
Okay, well, so this is going to be a football friendly first go around. So some of you who could care less, you may want to fast forward. But I am also very excited for this weekend for two reasons. Number one, I'm a big Michigan fan, national champions, defending national champions.
Maybe vacated.
Defending national champions. And we play Texas. And Texas is ranked number 3 or 4, depending on what poll you look at. And so it's a big game. And then also it's the first weekend of the NFL. And so it's our first chance to watch Caleb Williams. I'm a Bears fan. And so I'm very much looking forward to that. Yeah. So.
All right, well, I'm going to go away from football. And I would say that probably the thing I'm really looking forward to the most is where the podcast is headed with the video aspect of it, which I think is going to be very unique, but also the Instagram account and having some video snippets of that. And this semester, we're going to try actually going out and remote and talking to some of the students and making them part of the podcast as well. So I think overall, and I didn't really say this, but Evan is an intern here in the business department and working with the podcast. So to have someone like that is knowledgeable and is interested and passionate about it, I'm excited about where that's going to lead.
For sure. Back to Cooper. It's number 2.
Number 2. I'm gonna stay with sports because I don't think anyone will say my other one first. Basketball intercity, mid-November, always a great environment at Wesleyan. One of my favorite times of the year. Not even school related, coming up on Thanksgiving, holiday season, and I feel like going to inner city. I've been going to inner city, maybe on and off since I was pretty young. Obviously, teacher
and announce.
Yeah. I used to go to swim practices, and then right after my swim practice,
a good point. Yep.
Sit by my dad announcing. So it's kind of like a switch on gear for fun holiday season.
My second one is going to be just the weather in general because, especially, I know it's not going to stay like it, but the past couple of days have just been, we have our windows open.
Absolutely.
The outside feels like the inside, and it's just, it's hard not to be happy when the weather is that nice.
Yep.
So I'm
the only thing I don't like about it is when they start cutting those fields and people who have allergies.
Yeah.
It's miserable, but I almost wrote that down, and I didn't. Yeah. I love fall weather.
I had that down as well, and I was going to say it's like there's a crisp in the air that's hard to define other than just it's like hoodie weather basically.
Yeah, for sure.
It's cool enough to wear a hoodie, but it's not crazy hot out. Just I don't know. There's just there's nothing like it.
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
me, September and October weather are the best.
And it hasn't been too windy either.
Yes.
That's the nicest part. It's when the wind picks up, it just sucks.
It'll wait till the state golf tournament out at the Den, and it'll be howling about 30 miles per hour.
Yeah.
Good choice. So yours is kind of the same then.
No, mine that I was going to choose is homecoming week, but also I don't know how to define it, but just the school vibes in the fall. Everyone's still kind of excited about school. It's fresh. Especially, I think if our volleyball team or football team is doing well, I think that creates a fun atmosphere throughout the school. There's just a different energy that typically happens. And so I think that all leads up to homecoming week. Homecoming week would probably be my pick, but I don't know. There's just a fun atmosphere throughout the school. And I remember when I left school, that was something that I missed. And part of the reason I wanted to get back into high school is just I love the energy. Wildcat energy.
Yeah, Wildcat energy. There you go. Throw that out.
That happens in the fall.
Yep. So mine is kind of a piggyback off of that. I've been really looking forward to this fall because of how our fall has started and the crowds that we've had at our volleyball games and our last football game. Our student section was way better than it has been the last couple of years. Last night I was at a volleyball game, and it was just I don't know what it is. I don't know why some classes are lamer than others or whatever you want to call it. Can I say that? Is that all right?
2027 class.
But it just I don't know. It's just part of being in a high school that cares about it's not just athletics, it's everything, but that you want to participate and you want to be places. And I don't even know if some people even realize how much fun it is to like go to a volleyball game. Volleyball's an awesome sport.
And our team, shout out, is awesome. Absolutely. That is one of my things that I'm excited about is just our volleyball team in general.
Yeah, absolutely. And so if you have not had an opportunity to go out and watch a volleyball game or a football game or what, just go out and do it and have fun and be positive. And people build off of each other. And I know the athletes build off of that energy as well. So
just having a sense of pride in your school when you go to these events is cool when there are classes that have that.
Yep. And I'll be honest, I had really good high school years, but probably what I remember the most is going to football games and how we would have, it was just packed. I mean, we would have so many people there. And again, the energy is something, it's real. So last one, Coop.
Kind of piggybacking off of Mr. Burgess, I said homecoming school decor. All the walls. I know every hallway gets a makeover. So I feel like just that adds to the vibe of around homecoming time.
Yep.
I'm gonna go ahead and take just holidays in general. Of like this semester with Halloween, Thanksgiving.
So you're stealing all
Christmas.
Holidays is what you're doing.
I think I am, yeah. I wasn't going to take Halloween, and I can't really choose between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And I guess Christmas is after first semester ends, but...
You're allowed to take them all. And I to your point, I feel like summer holidays aren't the same, and maybe it's because I'm a teacher and summer we get off, but although there's not that many, right? There's Memorial Day, and then there's 4th of July. But those don't seem as holiday-ish as Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, even Easter, I think doesn't quite, or spring break, I don't know, that's not really a holiday, but those fall holidays are the best.
I think just because you get a break from school for them as well also is just it's icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Prime holiday season.
Yep, absolutely.
On basic, and you know what, I'll admit it, but I'm always looking forward to pumpkin flavored stuff around this time. I'm a big pumpkin guy, and then along with that, the pumpkin thing. Sorry, I'm stealing another thing here, but Halloween, like for my kids, they're in a fun age where they still get excited about it and dress up and whatnot, and so
that's fun age.
You only get so many years of them doing that, and so looking forward to that also.
Absolutely. And I'm not trying to do like a shameless plug for this, but every year for the past, I don't know how many years, 8 years maybe, we've had a wall of fame. So we've had inductees of either West grads or West faculty members or even like fans of West that get honored to be on our wall of fame. And I'm really excited about this year's class. Lisa Preston was a mainstay at our school for a long time, did an awesome job with the band. Andrew Loy, who, my son Cooper, who's here right now, is a swimmer, and he wants to break his records. He was the best swimmer ever to go to West, was a great swimmer at OSU and deserves that honor. And then Mandy Gardner, who was one of my all-time favorite students, and in my opinion, the best athlete ever to be at Normal West, is being honored as well. So I'm really excited about the Wall of Fame dinner, which is actually on Powder Puff night. So, all right. Well, thanks for your input. We're going to move on to our interview. So we are going to be interviewing Leah Marlene and also special guest Sara Williams. So after that interview, then we're going to come back and we'll have a little traditional game and talk about some camping. All right, welcome back to the podcast. As we always say, we have very special guests on the show, but I think this time we probably would want to say we have some super duper special guests here today. So we've amped it up a little bit. The first is recording artist and Normal West alum Leah Marlene.
Hello.
Welcome. And of course, our second is choir director extraordinaire Sara Williams.
Hey,
welcome
all right.
back for you.
Thank you.
Good. All right. So we're going to start just by asking Leah a pretty simple question.
Okay.
Why are you in town?
Why am I in town? I am in town because on Saturday I am playing the Castle Theater. Yeah, that's it.
That's a pretty good reason.
Yeah.
What time? 7 o'clock.
Yes,
I know.
doors open at 7.
8 o'clock
Fritz
show.
Hager, who was on American Idol with me, he'll be opening up the show at 8, and then me and the band will be going on around 9ish. So
How often do you get a chance to perform with Fritz?
I haven't since the corn crib, so
That's
it's gonna
crazy.
be really special. I think like after Idol, there was somewhat of a conscious effort like not to do a ton together
I
because
understand.
you don't want to be like the package deal forever from American Idol. So we really were selective with what we did. But it's now nice because we haven't done anything together for a long time. It feels like a reunion, and he lives in Nashville, so I still get to see him and whatever. But like he's on the other side of town, we don't see each other enough. So like this is like a convenient excuse to hang out, and yeah.
That's awesome.
Super fun. All right, so we want to take a step back and have you talk about your start in music, like what age you started, and at what age did you start, seeing that you're maybe a little more talented at this than most.
A little better than everybody else.
And then ultimately what led you to this point.
Okay, well, my dad is in an 80s rock band, so I always grew up with like guitars around the house. So that was like, music was just like always a thing that was gonna happen. And in my brain, like I was always gonna be like in my young brain, like a pop star or whatever. But I always had that childhood dream, as a lot of people do, but it just always felt kind of realistic, and like I never grew out of it. So I started learning piano in like first grade. Yeah. And I did not like practicing or doing the lessons or anything. And I really wanted to learn guitar. But my parents wanted me to do piano first. And so then I finally got to start learning guitar in like third grade. And that's where things kind of shifted. And I started I sang and played guitar for the first time in front of people at the third grade talent show at Prairieland Elementary. And then like there was like the all school talent shows, and those were like some of my first performances ever. So yeah, I mean, that's where it started. And then around, even in elementary school, I started playing gigs like for money, like professionally in Uptown Normal, which I don't know who was paying like an 8-year-old kid to make some noises that probably were not the best, but it was exciting for me.
They clearly knew what they were doing though. Like they knew they had something.
I'm very grateful.
Yeah.
I think it was Joe Tolley, who is unfortunately passed away now, but he was really great at throwing me shows when I was really young and probably didn't deserve to be playing them yet. So the town has always like been so supportive. So I started doing that, and like that made me feel a little bit different than my classmates,
because you're earning money.
Yeah, and my classmates
Better than a lemonade stand.
my classmates weren't really doing that, but it's because like I had a dad that and a mom that like understood that if I want to do this, if I want to pursue this passion, like this is an outlet to do that. So it's really just because I had that support and the knowledge of like the pathway forward. So yeah, and then I did that all throughout junior high and high school. And then in high school, I started writing music, and I started taking trips to Nashville and ditching out on school to do that only for a few days. And yeah, I mean, I think it just progressively became more serious for me, and there wasn't really anybody else that was really like even a songwriter at all, which I think has kind of changed from what I've heard. I feel like there is a little bit more of a scene now, which is very exciting. But for me, I was like the only one doing anything kind of like it. And then also in the school music scene, like when I came to high school, I was like pretty determined to climb the like choir ladder as quickly as possible, which was just like, I don't know, I was like weirdly driven and way more motivated than I think I'll ever be the rest of my life. But yeah, I don't know. I just really wanted to like be at the top of the ecosystem. So
Very cool.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe you're less motivated as you get older. I think you just have way more responsibilities.
Yeah, and it's a lot less structured in like it's not just like one ladder that you're just like climbing. It's like, oh my God, there's like a billion ladders, and what is the priority? And so it's a lot more complex.
Absolutely. So I know that you've had a lot of mentors along the way. Obviously, your dad being in music and your mom has done an awesome job of just kind of helping you out with those other like business and marketing aspects. I ask as the internship coordinator at West and curious as to how important you felt your internship here at Normal West under the mentor and tutelage of Jeff Greenberg, how that helped your career development. Because one of my favorite songs was your project, which was Noise.
Oh my God.
So,
oh my God, yeah.
And it's obviously it's one of my favorites just because of that. But can you talk a little bit about that?
Okay, well, that was huge because as a high schooler, you're at school from like 8 to 3, whatever. I don't know the schedule
30.
anymore, but 3:30. And so, I mean, that's a huge chunk out of the day. And then I was way over involved in every single club and extracurricular activity under the sun. So like my schedule was just so packed. It was so hard to even like really pursue my career. But somehow I still did that. Again, younger Leah had way more energy than I still think I'll ever have. But I also like got up at like 4 a.m. and would go to the gym before all of this. And like, it was just, I was a machine back then. But the internship program allowed me to have like an extra hour and a half ish in my day to actually pursue these things. And then studying under Jeff was amazing because he knew a lot more about like music production and all of that stuff, and it kind of also held me accountable to reach certain milestones. And I just got to like pick his brain about anything that I was wanting to learn, and it was nice because we got to form it around really whatever made sense for my progression. And that time was just like irreplaceable because I recorded my EP during that time and was doing like I think like a few like key shows that were really important. And then I was also working in Nashville a lot, and like that song Noise that you mentioned, I think I wrote it my senior year while I was like doing that program. And when I would go to Nashville, I would like spend so much time booking those trips, like because you have to find the people that you're going to write with. So a lot of that was done on social media and just like cold calling and researching and trying to find emails or DMing. And the guy that I wrote that song with, I found him on social media probably my senior year and DM'd him, and for some reason he like was down to write it. And he's like one of my favorite collaborators to this day. He wrote like 3 or 4 of the songs. I think the most he wrote on more songs than any other co-writer on my last project. And like it's cool because it really set the foundation for what I'm doing now.
And as a senior in high school.
Yeah.
I hate to look back at my high school career and think about what I was doing when I was a senior in high school, because I'm pretty sure it wasn't calling people up in Nashville and trying to get some co-writing. So
hey, that was a great plug for internship program, by the way.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I asked that question.
No, absolutely.
Self-serving.
No, but the internship program was awesome. Like genuinely was the best thing I could have ever done with my senior year. Like, I'm so grateful that I got to do that.
Love it. So do you have so you're 2019 grad?
Yes.
Which is just crazy to think about. We were just before talking about how it just all kind of runs together and time goes by so fast.
I know.
Do you have a favorite memory from your time at West? And then if you want to shout out any teachers that were maybe your biggest influences while you were here?
I was trying to think in the short car ride over here. Like, it's been so long since I've even thought about like certain teachers or whatever, and then like they were all flooding back, but I'm like almost forgetting names. It's been 5 years, which is not that long, but it's wild. But like I can't even tell you, I'm really lucky. Like I genuinely had the best high school experience under the sun. Like I still like rave about it when I'm like talking to my girlfriend about it or whatever. Like I just like smile so big because, and like all the teachers here are just so amazing. Like looking back with even further perspective, it's just crazy to see like how like just wonderful people and how much everybody cares and how much I like learned and grew while I was here. So anyway, there's like a million people that I could shout out. Obviously, Mrs. Williams was like the number one key person in like every way. But okay. I feel bad because I'm gonna say people, but then I'm gonna miss other people that were really important. But Mrs. Long was the best and still is a good friend to this day. And Mrs. Spath's class my senior year was like, I took her dual credit English class instead of taking like the AP English. By the way, if that's still an option, do that instead. It's way easier than taking AP and more fun. And take it with Mrs. Spath because it was great. And I still learned a lot, but AP is more intense. You get the same credits and it's great. That was such a fun class. I remember Mr. Beatty, I had him for 2 years of math and like I kind of had the same crew of math people since like we were in 6th grade. It was pretty much the same core group of kids. So that like math was always, I was not like the best at math, but it was always really fun for that reason. And Mr. Beatty like was so great. And Miss Sherman too was awesome. I'm trying to think of other classes I took. Madame Sword, I took 4 years of French, and that was always a really fun class. And then, oh my God, the whole social studies department, like every single person in the social studies department, I'm not even everybody knows who everybody is there. So, gosh. I hope.
Don't feel like you have to
Yeah,
name
no,
them all, 'cause
there's so many, but genuinely, like pretty much every class I've taken at West was like really a positive experience. So.
Love it.
That's
Love
good
to hear that.
Yeah, I've been here for almost 30 years, and there's a reason why I stayed is because our staff is awesome, and I enjoy working with the teachers that I work with. So
yeah, and it's pretty crazy to meet people like years after high school, and everybody talks about what their high school experience is like. And like my girlfriend went to a school of like a graduating class of like 20 kids or whatever. Not even 20 kids, like, and just comparing is so different.
Yeah,
and like,
definitely.
the more I hear stories of other people's experiences, I mean, other people have some really cool high school experiences too, but it's been cool to like really appreciate what we have here.
Awesome. I'm going to go back kind of to the concept of mentors. Obviously, Miss Sara Williams is here, who no doubt is one of your favorite people, probably because she's just an awesome human. But what was it like when you came back to West during American Idol and got to reconnect with people who influence you that have been great to you? What was that like?
Well, that whole day was the biggest whirlwind of whirlwinds and the most bizarre, in the best way, bizarre day of my entire life. It was just so unbelievable that I literally just couldn't believe what was happening in front of my eyes. Like, it was just like anybody else put yourself in my position, like your entire town and your high school and your elementary school and your middle school, like all just like throwing assemblies for you. Like, it's crazy. Yeah. So I was like in a different dimension, and also it was like had been on the show for a while at that point. So my brain was just in a completely otherworldly place. So like being back, and we were in the after we filmed a bit, we like ate lunch in the, what was it, 150 AB? Yeah, I still remember. And like it was so wild to just be sitting there after all that happened. But it feels like no time has passed. Like it feels so, I spent so much time like in that area too of the school. Like just feels like home. But to answer your question more specifically, like when I walked in the school, I did not expect my friends to be there. I didn't know that they were going to surprise me with some of my high school friends, which was just so fun because we're all like, what the heck is happening? Like, this is crazy. And it's fun to be with people that know you like completely outside of that. And then like walking into the choir and they're all singing my song, and that was so sweet. Oh my gosh, the bell.
Yeah, we don't have to stop.
But that was really great. And sorry, I totally lost my train of thought. But yeah, and then the assembly was absolutely crazy. But I mean, it just felt like, it always feels like coming home, and it's just like a really sweet feeling to be back. So yeah.
Sara, this question is for you. What was it like, or what is it like to have had a student like Leah, who has obviously grown into an awesome artist, was a good artist obviously back then, but has grown. Like, what does that feel like as a teacher and as a mentor?
Well, you just can't fathom or come up with the words to express the feelings. But, what's so cool about Leah is that, I've known her in so many different settings. Mm-hmm. And I think that's really cool, knowing her as a 7th grader and then knowing her as a private student and then knowing her in the musicals or in Jazz Voices or as an all-state musician. All of those realms were so interesting to see the growth. But then she was just and continues to be such a powerhouse and somebody that I, think is just so amazing. And to be even just a part of that, part of her growth was really cool. But I think the neatest thing for me is to have seen her be so organic in the way she's made her own life and career. And I think that is like mind-blowing because,
That's
a
cool.
lot of us will like walk into a job on a path like, here's this school, you're going to be a teacher or you're going to run this business. But usually walk in and you're not starting a business about yourself, and about being an organic material like that, right? And being, from the basement recording sessions and seeing that through COVID and watching you, even at Belmont and touching base with you there and just how it all comes into where you are is just such an impressive journey. And such a journey that I feel like was, meant to be. Mm-hmm. And it's been such a joy to see that and be there and be like, oh, that's Leah. And I just can't explain it. That there's just so much essence of Leah and how you've grown and changed through all of that. But it's always been that path. Mm-hmm. And you've like made that on your own, like on, since like we're saying, like cold calling in high school and being like, leaving a musical rehearsal at, 9 p.m. and then going to Nashville and being in a writing session the next morning and accomplishing all of that. I guess that is just the most impressive thing.
Yeah. We've talked about this as teachers, that's seeing students like you and students that we've had in the past and just watching them grow and following their path after high school is one of the most rewarding parts of being a teacher.
Absolutely.
So
now I would say that yours is probably more exciting than like, hey, someone's going to be an accountant because I'm an accountant.
I think that's still
super exciting.
Just not as public,
But
right?
you're right. I do enjoy when I hear
amazing.
back from students who are going into accounting or they're accountants, and it's not as exciting, but
any email or call we get is cool. But this is phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It is phenomenal.
For sure. All right. So going back to American Idol, I just wanted to talk a little bit about what got you into it for the first place. And then what were your expectations when you went into it? Were you just kind of doing it for fun or were you like, did you have high expectations of actually making it far?
Yeah. Okay. So after I graduated, I went to Belmont in Nashville for 2 years, and then I dropped out. My 2 years at Belmont were really rough, like mental health wise. That's a whole story for another day. But I had just kind of come back to myself. It was the spring of 2021 and I moved home and I dropped out and I was still recovering from a lot of that because I was really like hit rock bottom for a while. And so my headspace was like, forget all this stuff, forget the commercial music industry. Like, I just want to be like okay in life. Cause I mean, that time really stripped every part of me from me, like just the appreciation for even being able to like lift my finger or like put my feet on the ground out of bed in the morning was like huge. Mm-hmm. And so like my perspective on life was just like, I just want to enjoy it. I want to go live. I want to go travel the world and go backpacking and meet people and whatever. And so that's the headspace I was in. And I was starting to save up to go just travel and experience the world. And so then in June, the end of June of that year, I got a DM from a casting director from Idol. And I'll also preface that like this casting directors reach out like somewhat frequently if you're like a somewhat decent musician that posts music online. So like in high school, I'd been reached out to a handful of times for different singing shows or America's Got Talent or whatever. It was never something, I always knew that I wanted to go and like develop myself and like have my stuff together and really know myself as an artist and as a singer or whatever before I would ever say yes to that. So like it was never really something that I said no to many, many times before. So when I got this message, I was like, oh yeah, it's just going to be another like, thank you so much for reaching out. It's not the right time for me right now, whatever. But for some reason, I read it and I just like had a really weird gut instinct about it, enough so to where I like actually mentioned it to my mom, who had also seen me go through everything I just went through and knew the spot I was at in life. Because going on American Idol was like the polar opposite of everything that I was like, of just the headspace I was in. It was so far from anything I thought I would be doing at that point. And she had a weird gut feeling about it. So then I was like, oh God, what? And so I spent like 48 hours with my heart rate was like elevated, like 20 to 30 BPM higher, like that entire 48 hours, like thinking about the idea of even like saying like, sure, let's just do like the first round Zoom audition. Like there's so much before you'd even get to the judges at this point, but it was just so far out that I just was like, I was so confused. But if there's one thing that I know, like it's like I've had a few key moments in life where like my gut has told me something that I didn't quite understand in my brain and didn't like, it was like kind of unexpected, but whenever I've followed that, like it's led me exactly where I meant to go. So we kind of were like, okay, this is really weird and not what I thought I was going to do, but like our gut is both telling us something. And so like, why don't we just like do it for funsies, like, and not put anything on it. Like, I had been very isolated at that point. It was 2021. Like, COVID was still quite a thing. And I had dropped out of college. So I, like, literally had not had, like, any social interaction in a while. And so it was like, this is just going to be a really cool experience. Even if I just do one Zoom audition and meet a producer, like, okay, well, I learned kind of what that's like and I gained some experience. So it was very much like, take it as it is every step of the way and try to, like, have fun and appreciate the like tiny little moments of it and just like take all the gratitude that you can from the experience. And then like it just kind of snowballed from there. I did the additional Zoom auditions in early July. There were like 3 different rounds, and then in November of 2021 was when the judge auditions were in Nashville, and that was like the craziest day of my life because I hadn't been around people in ages. If you watch that, you're gonna see me like bouncing off the walls because I was like, oh my God, people and life, and oh my God, the real world is out there. And it was just very exciting after going through like so much in college and then COVID, and then now all of a sudden like the world has kind of opened itself up to me for like just this really fun kind of like summer camp type feel of like meeting all these other artists and then getting to sing for like your childhood heroes. Pretty cool. So that's how it came to be. And the whole process was just take it as it is, have fun with it, because it was not something that I planned on doing. And it was so far from anything, and I didn't want it to ruin my piece that I had worked so hard for after going through all that stuff. So yeah.
Well, thank you for saying yes to that and having that same feeling, and because we've been on quite a ride as well. So
I mean, it's still really crazy to me to look back and see like how that all even happened like for myself, and then the way that it's like impacted everybody else is like the coolest thing ever.
It was fun for me too. My kids were 5 and 7 at the time too, and just like they got so into it too, and like I just remember like them watching it. We came to Normal West and they had the shirts and they had everything, and it was just amazing. I took them to Uptown. Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
So
that's so fun.
It's a cool memory for me.
Well, we always watched the show before I really like. I had known some people kind of on it before, and like it's just fun to watch and like root for people. So it is cool like to have somebody that you know on it.
Absolutely. So I enjoy listening to you sing. You have a great voice. Obviously, it's very unique. I love the way that, especially in your last album, like every song feels different and it feels natural. And I'm not going to name any other artists, but there's plenty out there that like, yep, that's a song from them. That's a song from them. And it's like every song feels the same. And I love your lyrics.
Thank you.
Like I wrote down a couple, like even the pavement gives way to flowers. Don't waste my time, just read my mind. I mean, that's so easy, right? Come on, stop. I didn't know that I was lost till I couldn't see me anymore, which is probably my favorite of all of your lyrics.
Dang, that's a throwback.
So, and so this might be a tough question, but you do a lot of things as an artist. You know, you write, you record, you perform live. What do you enjoy the most?
That one, I have to do all of them or else I'll hate a singular one. If I was just doing one all year round, I would like get really burnt out on it. So that's the cool thing about being an artist is it's like being an athlete. You have like the preseason and then you have like the evolution, then you have like the heat of the season and then kind of the off season, you take some time off and then you're training. Like there's like kind of a wave and an arc to it. And that's what I like as an artist. It can look very different, but like if you're doing kind of the album cycle thing, there's like, you know, the writing, then the recording, then the promotion and the tour, and then that's very simplified, and then you do it again. So I would not be sane if I couldn't like switch things up. I've gone like the past 6 months without writing like a song because all I do every day is I'm on my laptop doing business or I'm on the road and running that. And it's a lot of like admin work and just like managerial work for my career and my business. And then like after the show kind of marks about the tail end of my like playing shows for this year. And I'm finally going to get to go back and like be a creative human again. And there are some times where I blend those things and I'm doing kind of the business stuff and the creative stuff. But I find that like I actually do really well when I just do like all business for a while and a little bit of creative and then all creative and like a little bit of business.
Helps you not get burnt out, really.
So I need those shifts because each phase can get really intense and there comes a point where it's like time to be done. And so it's nice to have something completely different feeling to like do.
So to piggyback on that, do you have a song that you're most proud of? And why is it the Respect 49 song from
Okay, no, shout out Angie Condren for writing those lyrics. And shout out me for trying to figure out how to fit all those lyrics into one line.
Well, and you did well.
Yes, you did.
We're going to have a little snippet of the Respect 49 song on this podcast so people can
And so we played that every day, right?
Yes,
the
they're for one semester. For one semester, I think it was played at like the 0 hour bell.
That's what it was.
Like, what was it, like 11 minutes before or however long?
Yeah.
And then the next semester, it was played like once a week at that time. I also did another song. I can't remember what it was for, but I think it was just used for a video. But gosh, I wish I could remember.
I got to say, for those of you who are listening right now, the Respect 49 is 49 minutes in a class period.
Is that not a thing here anymore?
No,
it is. We still have 49 minutes in a class period, and we had posters written about, you know, how important it is to respect every minute of class.
Yeah.
And so a song was written about it, and Leah performed it, and it was awesome. And I expect when you have a greatest hits album, that it will be
definitely be on there. I mean, that was so fun for me because like I didn't really know how to record very well at that point. So it's like a really fun project to even figure out like how to record my vocals well. And I mean, it was not very good, but like it was like an amazing opportunity to like just be able to do that. So it was really fun.
Okay, so another question. I'm sorry, I'm the person with the dumb question sometimes. The question I have for a musical artist, as somebody who has no musical talent and has never performed live in front of anybody, something I've always wondered is, do you ever get tired of like playing your own song over and over? Like I look at how many times Taylor Swift has played on tour. I always wondered, does she ever get tired of playing some of the same songs over and over again?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, think about any song that you've ever loved and then you get sick of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
But like it's your job. And like you have to remember that the the show is not for you. It's like to give the audience an experience. And so when you put it in that lens, it helps a lot. And the audience is experiencing this, very few times in their life. They're only going to see you, even if they come to a ton of shows, they're not going to see you like all that much. And so like this is like their first time hearing this live or like their fifth time or whatever, and it's like really special. So I try to put it in that perspective, but I will say that Whisper to the Well is the death of me and I never want to play it again, but I will be playing it at the Castle Theater this Saturday. So yeah, I never play it, but for the hometown show I'm bringing it out because obviously it was kind of like a fixture of my American Idol journey, and I think people will be familiar with it.
Well, I appreciate your honesty there.
There's a few that I'm like, okay, nope.
So obviously American Idol is in the rearview mirror. You've moved on from that. Obviously it's still part of your history, but can you tell us a little bit about what you've been up to now? Where do you spend most of your time? You kind of talked about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Right now you're on tour and you're kind of towards the end of that, but what's life like now for Leah Marlene?
So I live in Nashville now, and I've been there full time for like 2 years now, which has been great. So Nashville is really cool because there's an amazing creative community, but you also can just kind of like live a well-balanced life too. So I guess like where I'm at now, I already said like I've been touring and all that stuff. And in coming up this winter, I'll probably be doing a lot more co-writing and just creating. I'm trying to think of like what else to answer that question with, because it's pretty abstract. Like every day is so different. But in terms of like bigger picture, what I'm doing, like is I'm building the foundation, and like I released a project in February that was really like a really nice palette of my sound now, and I still really stand on that. And so now what I'm doing is like really putting like my music manager hat on this past year and thinking, okay, if we're building a career, like what do we need? We have a project out that represents like, okay, I'm lacking like good like live video. Let's have a film crew come to the Castle Theater, or like I'm doing a lot of strategic foundational things to make sure I have all my assets in order, all my ducks in a row, and just trying to build things up. I've been doing like opening slots on the road so that I can build up my draw is like how many people you can pull into a show, how many tickets you can sell in a city. So I've been like strategically trying to build that in all these different cities, so then eventually I can do another headline run and have more people come or play bigger venues or whatever. So there's a lot of just like strategic thinking where it doesn't seem like a whole lot is going on, but there's a lot of like just getting the ducks in the row to continue to put myself in a really good spot for a potential like future management or like just other like team members to come along and want to jump into like what I'm building. So it's like a very building block stage in the wider view.
Interesting.
Okay. Now that you're in town, do you have any spots that you like to hit up in normal when you come back?
Always. Okay.
What's your go-to?
The Coffee Hound coffee is the best.
Yep.
Though
Yep,
I always
absolutely.
spent my time in high school at the coffee house, which I always loved too. And then I love Medici's. They have like a salmon with like this risotto that is just, oh my God, it's so good. And Fort Jesse Cafe is a big one. There's the new acai place in Uptown Nautical Bowls. I love like smoothie and smoothie bowls, and I've been a huge fan of that forever. And I'm like, when is Normal gonna get that? And
we
like
have
that was the
several
best
choices.
That was the best surprise. Coming back the past few months and seeing that, and it's very good. So, and then, oh my gosh, I'm missing so many places. What are my places?
I don't know.
My mother's in the room.
I think you hit them most. That's most of the ones that you like. Those are your top
Yeah, we'll go with
There we
that.
go.
I'm definitely missing
Yeah.
some places
Yeah.
that I
Yeah.
love, but those are some of the top
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah.
Okay, and then our last question is for the students listening. What advice do you have for them? You know, if we were to look back at Leah in high school and someone told you you're at where you're at and you would have been on American Idol and done those things. I don't know. Maybe you had those aspirations and thought that was possible, but what advice do you have for students that are currently in high school?
So many things. You can really build whatever you want your life to look like, you could literally do anything and you could make it happen however way you want to. Like, especially for like what I'm doing, if anybody's interested in music, like you really do have to make your own path. Everybody's path is different. But like, you know, even if you want to do a more traditional, straightforward path, like you don't have to be boxed into even what your parents want for you or whatever. Like you're going to grow up and move out of the house, and you really got to figure out like just like allow yourself to explore your passions and not write those off, and you can build anything, any structure around the things that you love, and you can make money off the things that you love too if you want to do that and build your life around that. Also, like high school Leah definitely like pushed herself way too hard, and I'm sure there's a lot of high school students here that also are like extreme overachievers, and that's why I crashed so hard in college, was because I continued at that pace, but the world got a lot more big and complicated, and there was so much more that I could try to push myself in, and it was all too much. And so like, just like, you know, 8 hours of sleep is a really, really important thing. And I used to think I was really cool for like not getting much sleep. I would like brag about it because I was working so hard, like that hustle culture. It's not cool. It's not cool. Yeah. It's really not cool. Yeah. You know, life is so much bigger than these 4 years and the next 4 years of school. And at the end of the day, like the things that I think I prided myself on were like just like successful achievements, and there's so much more to life than just like achieving the next thing. So just remembering, putting things in perspective. But you know, high school's a good time to work your booty off, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I would definitely tell my high school self to like slow down and smell the roses a little bit. But I'm also really grateful for all the experiences and all that I did in high school to make the most of it. So, you know, it's a balance for sure.
And take the internship program.
Yeah, and take the internship program. And be nice to your teachers, because they all are amazing and are pouring so much more into you than you realize.
All right. That's great advice.
Great advice. Well, on behalf of everyone here in the podcast and at West, thank you so much for being generous with your time. We know you're a very busy person. But I think more importantly, just for being genuine and being you and being a positive reflection on Normal West and in the entire Bloomington Normal community. So
thank you. Thanks for having me. I was really excited to come back today. I didn't think I was going to have time to visit the high school, but I was able to kind of move things around, and we drove back like a day early just to come to West. So
thank you.
So it's really sweet to be back. Thanks for having me.
We really appreciate it, and best of luck. And we love following you, and we'll continue to.
Yep.
Amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's a great day to be a wildcat. Rawr, rawr, rawr.
All right, welcome back. We are, again, going to be doing our typical like game and draft today, because we were talking about this earlier, fall weather. Camping is great in the fall. In summer, to me, it can be a little miserable, pretty hot. Fall is a great time to camp, have a bonfire. So our draft today will be things you have to have while camping. We are going to assume that everyone has a tent and something to start a fire. So a match or what do we call those?
Lighter.
Yep. Lighter.
Okay, so I need some clarification here before we start.
Yep.
Okay. My first question.
Uh-oh. Wow.
What's the approximate temperature?
Let's say it's
65.
Let's say it's 75 in the day and 60 at night.
Okay.
How about that?
Second, location.
Oh boy, this guy.
Southern Illinois.
Southern Illinois.
Okay. So like Shawnee National Forest.
Forest.
There we go. Okay.
Yep.
And approximately how many days are we camping?
2 nights.
These are important
2 nights?
questions.
I was wondering the duration.
2 nights maybe?
How about 5?
5 nights? Wow,
You
that
gotta catch
changes
your own
things.
food.
Holy cow. All right, 5 nights. And you can't bring all your
let's
food
meet
with
in the
you.
middle. Let's say 3.
3 nights?
Yes. We're not doing like naked and afraid here. All right.
Oh boy. All right. Okay, so I get to go first because I'm oldest and I went last time. So this is probably going to be something that you guys wouldn't even think about, but I don't like starting campfires. I love campfires, but I'm not very good. I was not a Boy Scout, so I'm going to have to bring fire starters, like the little cubes that help you start a fire easily, so that I don't have to go out and find kindling or do like, they easily like shave off logs. I would cut myself. I would have one less hand. So I'm going to go with fire starters.
Okay. So mine is a callback to our draft, which was hot takes. And one of my hot takes was that I absolutely hate camping.
Okay. So this is perfect, right up your alley.
So my first pick is the Uber app / a key card to a hotel.
Not allowed. But
we'll give it to you. I'll do something different. I was just kind of joking there. But a key card to a hotel would be good. I can't say RV either, can I?
maybe like a standard
camper
Toyota Corolla. That's better.
All right.
So you can sleep in your car.
What? For the spirit of the draft, I'll pick something different.
Okay.
But I think that I'm a very part of the reason I hate camping is I'm very particular about sleep. Mm-hmm. And so if we're there for 3 nights, I have to have an air mattress to sleep on.
That you took one of mine. Absolutely. Yep. I feel the same way.
I can't sleep on the ground because I will be. If I'm there for 3 days and I'm not sleeping well, I won't even enjoy myself. So I need some rest.
Yep, I'm with you there.
Okay.
My first pick is gonna be s'mores. So I don't know if I can get that just as a
no, you
package
can.
deal.
I think that's fair because it's something that's pretty common. So yes,
I just like when I think of campfire, I think of s'mores, and so that's just like my number one essential.
Okay,
so, fair enough.
Like a cooking set, like a pan.
That's smart.
Utensils.
You get 2 picks too, by the way.
Yeah.
So cooking set now.
Yeah.
What? That's just
just like a pan. You could pour water into it. You could boil it.
Okay.
Maybe like a little bit of utensils. Just standard. Get it at Walmart. It's a camping cooking set.
Okay.
And then 2, we're gonna go sleeping bag.
Sleeping bag.
Pretty basic.
Okay. You're not borrowing my air mattress, so okay. You're all right.
So my second pick, I'm not familiar with Shawnee National Forest. Do they have a lake? Like, are there lakes?
I'm sure there's some lakes.
Okay, so I'm a big combo deal guy. So my second pick is going to be like a fishing pole and bait, because for me that's both like recreational and practical. Because not only do you have something to eat, but you got something to do.
Yep.
So
good point.
All right. My second pick is I also to sleep need a fan on my face at night. So I'm also bringing a portable fan to blow on my face. So I've covered my sleep so far. And I have a fan and I have an air mattress if I'm stuck in the tent.
We should go camping sometime just for the fun of it. And
well, again, if you're not going to give me the Uber app or a key card to a hotel, then I'm going to go with a portable fan on my face.
Got it. All right. I'm going to go with bug spray because I hate bugs. We were actually talking at my parents' house about like Lewis and Clark, and they were reading a book, and they basically used to like cover themselves in lard so that mosquitoes would not bite them. So they would like a 1/4 inch thick. Mm-hmm. Crazy. I do not like bugs. I do not like mosquitoes. Yeah. So I would definitely go with that.
I had that on my big board. So
and then I'm not doing anything practical here besides the fire starter. Like I'm not doing s'mores or anything like that. But I need some type of game to play. Bags would be probably my preference. I'm assuming that I'm camping not alone, but with friends or family. And it gets a little boring, especially if you're going to be there for 4 or 5 days. So I need something to entertain me.
So are you going to pick a specific?
Bags.
Oh, bags. Okay, bags.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if we're having lawn games, we'll make sure to not bring Mr. Matthews so that we don't get dominated in every
Oh, my gosh.
So we have a chance of winning.
Really?
Shout out to Mr.
He's unbelievable.
Yeah. I'm going to go with portable grill.
That was on my list.
That's
so
a good
that I
choice.
can make some food. So
Yeah.
then
Especially breakfast.
Yeah.
Like it's, especially if it's like damp at all and it's hard to get a fire started unless you have fire starters, and I'm the only one that has fire starters. Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah, and then I'll be full enough so that I can sleep.
Perfect.
Yep.
Sounds like you're not much of a guy to thug it out, really,
No,
Mr. Burgess.
no.
I respect it, though. My next pick, I'm going to go with the cooler because obviously you got to keep stuff cold. And, I mean, I know it's only 75 degrees. It's not like you're sweating like crazy, but a nice
stay hydrated.
cool drink, something to keep your drinks in. And so I'm going to go with the cooler.
Good call.
Thank you.
2 picks.
How many picks are we doing? 4?
Oh, we're doing
Or we
4?
just doing 3?
That's fine.
Total.
We can do 4.
So you got 2 more, and then we end with me.
All right. I think I'm gonna go with one of those straws so you could like drink out of a
the
river.
life straws?
Yeah. One of those, and then maybe like two extra pairs of all my clothes. I don't need bags. I could take a rock and skip it on the lake. That's what I'll be doing for many hours.
Got it.
What if I want to jump in and catch a fish? Then I need to catch that fish
With what?
with my hands.
With your hands. Okay.
Yeah. Catch that fish, change clothes, cook it, and eat it.
Got it. Interesting. Good luck catching the
You
fish.
could bring your swim shorts to, work on swimming while
Yeah.
you're there in the lake too. Something to do.
He doesn't like
I think
swimming in open water.
okay.
He's not a big fan.
if I can't see the bottom, then it's a no-go.
I feel you on that. Yeah, I'm with you there. My last pick, I feel like it's a sleeper pick. I'm going to go with my phone. I know that kind of goes against the whole camping experience, but,
Always
I just
gotta be
feel like-
connected.
I feel like it's an essential, yeah. I feel like my picks are pretty basic, but I think the phone is a must-need,
Yeah.
must-have.
I would love to be able to say that I could handle 4 or 5 days totally unplugged, but like I love sports so much that I would want to know what's going on, and it would be hard, especially like during college football season or pro football season, to have no idea what was going on.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, well-
Valid.
Yeah. Well, Evan, unfortunately, I'm not going to let him borrow this, so he's going to be in trouble after a day, but I'm going to bring my portable charger so that I can be plugged in the entire time that I'm there. I fall asleep to podcasts, so I'd probably also bring my AirPods. And so I got to have that. Phone's got to be charged. So I have headphones that I can put in so that I can fall asleep on my air mattress with my
You
fan
got to plug
blowing
in
on
that
me.
fan and get that air
And
mattress
I'm going to
going,
be
yeah.
so well rested while you 3 are all grumpy in the morning.
So I'm done, or this is like the last one, right? Okay. It's going to seem a little weird, but I've only chosen one food item, and I'm going with hot dogs.
Okay.
To me, camping is like hot dogs is a perfect camping food. I'm not saying it would make a good breakfast food, really. Probably wouldn't. But if I had to, I think for 4 days, I could just eat hot dogs. I could force myself to do it. S'mores, because it's so sweet, I think I would probably die of sugar overdose.
Hot dogs was on my list. Yeah.
So that's what I'm going. And I'm going to go with the condiments as well. Like you got to have some ketchup and mustard. And so.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Interesting. We'll see. We'll get this out on social media and see who has the better camping draft out of us 4.
I'm excited.
So
I love it.
looking forward to our next week, which will be talking to our interventionists as part of our department spotlight. So Mr. Hoder and Mrs. Enright will be on with me to talk about what they do. So thanks for hopping on for our first season 3, episode 1 podcast.
Good first episode.